Good afternoon and welcome to the second edition of virtual wine tasting at Haus. I'm here with Monica. She's here to help you with your wine needs. If you want to give her a call, she will keep an eye out for you and take your wine out to your car for you so you can really practice that social distancing like we all are. Last week we talked about Trefethen wines, which are fantastic. They are grown in a Mediterranean climate, but today we're going to go to the other side of the world, to France, where we are in the true Mediterranean climate. We're talking about the Rhone Valley and a little area called Minervois in the Languedoc-Roussillon. So both of these areas are fairly close to the Mediterranean Ocean. Climatically, they're characterized by rainy winters and really warm summers. So warmer climate, really lovely juicy wines. They have a flavor that you find in both of these that's called garrigue. Garrigue are these little kind of bushes and flowers that come up from the rocks. So you have things like thyme and rosemary and juniper and lavender. It's really, really beautiful, soft floral savory notes. They're both made out of blends that are primarily based on Grenache and Syrah. Grenache being a really juicy wine, a lot of strawberry, kind of higher in alcohol, but really soft tannins, very approachable. And then Syrah, one of my personal favorite grapes, being a bit more rustic with more structure, higher tannins, you've got some pepper, still some nice red fruit, but that nice leather and structure taking hold in Syrah. So first wine we're going to try is from the Rhone Valley. So Rhone Valley is most known, I think, for Châteauneuf du Pape, Old Castle of the Pope. This was a papal fiefdom for a very long time, but then, as history goes, things change. But the ruins are still there. There's a lot of really, really beautiful relics and architecture here. The terroir here is very, very rugged, and it's a huge area. This is actually the second largest appellation in the Rhone Valley. It's Côte du Rhone. So you see some crus there. You have Châteauneuf du Pape. You may have heard of Gigondas or Vacqueyras. There's Tavel for rosé. But this is a more approachable kind of table wine. This is made by the Perrin family, which, if you want a great wine from the Rhone Valley, they're the ones to go to. They're some of the largest landholders in the Rhone Valley. They have land all across the region. Their Château de Beaucastel is their Châteauneuf du Pape. They make some other wines under the Château de Beaucastel name, but that's kind of their top line. This is more of their entry, everyday drinking, easygoing wine. They're in the 5th generation in their family. All of their wines are organic, and this is just their Côte du Rhone Reserve Rouge, really, really approachable. The first thing that I get with Grenache here is that strawberry, just comes straight out. Strawberry and cherry, raspberry, there's some violets, nice minerality, kind of like a granite sort of rock quality to it. When you taste this wine, it's just delightful. It's medium bodied, it's not too heavy, but it's easy to drink. It'll pair with so many things because it's not going to overpower any of your food, but it's really, really lovely. So this area, they can be organic because really the terroir there in the Rhone Valley, it's a little bit easier. They have this wind that comes down called Le Mistral. I say it's easier to be organic. It's still farming. But the Mistral comes down and cools the vines and keeps things like mildew and pests and things like that away, because this wind can get up to 60 miles per hour. It's pretty crazy. But it's a really, really beautiful area, really huge. If you are a cyclist, it's really great for cycling. Challenging, but gorgeous. Really being there and smelling the terroir and seeing all the different soil types and drinking the wine. It's pretty fantastic. So that's the Rhone Valley. Now we're gonna run over further west to a little area called Minervois. So Minervois is in the Languedoc-Roussillon, which actually is the largest area, wine region in France. Used to be known for a lot of really cheap wine they call Planck, which is kind of funny, but a lot of just kind of, you know, excess winemaking. They made a ton of things like Carignan that had really, really high yields, really simple wines, and they just pumped it out and made a whole bunch of it. In the last few decades, they've really kind of honed in on the quality of the wines here, and dollar for dollar, I think you can find some of the best value wines here in areas like Minervois, the Terrasse du Larzac, Corbière. There's some really special wines. So this is Minervois. Minervois also has a strong Roman history. It's in between the towns of Narbonne, which was a Roman port city, and Carcassonne, which, if you're a history buff, you know, has a lot of history with Roman Catholicism. I'll let you look that one up yourselves. But this is an area in Minervois where you have to have at least 60% Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre, and then the remaining is mostly Carignan and Cinsault. Now there are some other kind of rare regional grapes. You don't see those quite as much, particularly in the U.S. This is 2/3 Syrah, yay me, and the rest is Carignan. So Carignan is interesting. It has this gorgeous color. So if you have a white piece of paper or something to put this over to really see that color, it's very, very vibrant. It's like purple and pink hues. It's super gorgeous. If you hold these wines side by side, you'll see that the Cotes de Rhone is a little bit lighter. There's a lot more Grenache here and a lot more Syrah here. So that Syrah is adding a bit of depth to the color there, but that purple, that pink hue is gorgeous from the Carignan. This wine is called Sentinelle de Massaic. It's made by Chateau de Massaic, and this is kind of their entry-level wine. I haven't had their kind of namesake Chateau de Massaic, but I would love to try it because this is fantastic. Sticking your nose into it, it's got this crazy umami quality. And when I say umami, I mean like bacon fat. It's just got that kind of savory deliciousness right off the bat. A little bit darker fruit quality, still that strawberry, more plum and blueberry kind of dried fruit. A lot of pepper, still getting that garrigue, those wild herbs, but I feel like they're a little more prominent in this Minervois. So Minervois, also at the foothills of the mountain range. Here we're looking at the Massif Central. They have a wind that comes down as well. This is also an organic wine. Rather close to the Mediterranean Ocean, probably about 45 minutes. And this is the place to go spelunking, which is what I want to do right now. Please, let's go to southern France and go spelunking when this is all over. And then let's drink this wine. Definitely richer. This Cotes de Rhone is going to be your everyday table wine. This Minervois is so complex and rich. It has firmer tannins, has this mouth-watering acidity. Really makes me want like lamb or game or duck or something. Like I want some food with this wine. It's delicious. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that maybe you learned a little something and tried some good wines. So this wine, Cotes de Rhone, is on tap here at Wine Haus. You can bring your growler and get it filled up. In France, we call that en vrac. So you can do that here at Wine Haus. And then we have this here in bottle, the Sentinelle de Massaic. So have a great afternoon. I'll see you next week.